from Prestashop Tutorials, and in this video I'll show you all you need to know to set up your very own online store. We'll be looking at where you can download Prestashop, we'll be talking about hosting providers, we'll also look at what we need to do to configure our hosting account, how we can transfer files to our hosting account, and then finally how we can install Prestashop. Our aim will be to create an online store that sells pre-configured websites. So the products we sell will be downloadable, but we'll also be able to ship out some products such as printed manuals and instructional DVDs.
Okay, so let's make a start. What we're going to do now is we're going to download Prestashop. Now, to get to Prestashop, an easy website to remember, it's www.prestashop.com. The link will be at the bottom of the screen here for you, and all you need to do is when you come to this particular page is hit download Prestashop. When you click that, it'll come up with the registration page. Now, Prestashop is free of charge, but they do like to know who's taking it, so I'm going to fill out here my name, my email address, and then who I am. Am I a merchant, a developer, a web agency, or other? Well, I'll just say I'm a merchant because I'm going to actually be downloading and using this product to, using Prestashop to sell products. So let's just fill that information in very quickly. So there we go, and all I'll have to do is hit the download button, and it gives me a couple of choices, two versions of Prestashop to download. One of them is an alpha version at this instance, and that's really just for test purposes. I want to use the final version, which is nice and stable, so I hit the download button again, and within a few seconds it will ask me what I want to do. Do I want to save it or open it? Well, obviously I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it to my desktop, so hit the save, and it may take a little bit of time to download depending on how good your connection is, so let's just sit here and wait for a second. So it's just finishing off, and they're all done. So let's just have a quick look on a desktop, and there's Prestashop in its zip state. You give it a double click, inside there's a folder saying Prestashop, and inside that are all the files and folders we're going to need to actually configure and set up our website. So that's good. Right, so the next thing we need to do now is look at host providers. Now, a host provider is somebody that will display your website for you so that everybody else in the internet world can go and view it. Now, I use a particular web provider or a host provider called HostMonster. Used them for many years, very pleased with their service and their reliability, and at the moment they're charging $5.95 per month, which is actually a very good price, and I believe they give you a free domain name. Yes, free domain forever, so that's good. And if you want to take them up on the offer, just use the link that comes with this particular package, give it a click, and then all you need to do is come to sign up now, and away you go. Now, once you've done all of that, they'll send you an email with certain bits of information. One of those key bits of information is a thing called control panel and how you're going to log into that. So once you've got that information, make a note of it, keep it nice and safe, and then we're going to use that to actually log into the control panel. So I've already done that anyway, so let's now go and have a look at the control panel. And when you log into your control panel, you'll see something very similar to this. Now, the reason we've come in here is we've been here a couple of times, but the first time we're going in there, we're actually going to create a database. Prestashop needs a database to actually function. Now, it's not difficult to do. All you need to do is look for this wizard, give it a click. There it says, okay, what do you actually want to call the database? I'll call it demo because we're actually doing a demo website at the moment, but you can obviously call that anything you like. Then hit the next button. It says, okay, give me a username that's going to have access to the database. Well, I'll have admin. Again, you can call it anything you like, and give a password, and you have to type the password in again, and then all I need to do is hit this create user button. The next page is asking me what rights do I want and what privileges do I want the admin user to have. Well, good idea at the moment is to give him all the privileges because we want him to be able to go in there and do whatever we want to do. So I say next, and straight away it gives me an answer, or it gives me a response back saying that we've created a database and an admin user. So there's Tutoria admin and Tutoria demo. Obviously, depending on whatever you call your website and how your host account is configured, depends on how this is going to come out. But just need to make a note of these two particular areas, and we're going to use those in a little while, because the next thing we need to do is actually upload Prestashop onto our host account. Now, like I said earlier on, your host account is going to give you some information about how to obviously get into Control Panel, but also how to get in contact with the server to upload files. And we can upload files in one of two ways. We can do it via a thing called FTP, which is File Transfer Protocol, or we can do it via the web. Now, I'll show you the web side things a little later, but for the moment I'm actually going to use an FTP client, and that's called FileZilla. Now let me just go and get that for you. So this is FileZilla. Let me just minimize that screen for the moment. Now at the bottom of the screen you should be seeing the link to FileZilla. But here we are. So FileZilla is very much like a file manager. Over this side though I've got my computer, so locally, and over this side is where the server is, or where my host account is. And all I need to do now is get in contact with the server. So using the information that the host provider has given me, I just need to log in. So I'm going to log in now. So we've logged into our demo site, and we can see here some folder and a couple of files. And that's quite normal. You may have more files, you may have less, whatever, but basically you're going to have nothing in there. So what we need to do now is transfer the zip file we got from Prestashop onto the server, and to do that it's very straightforward. If I come into my desktop, or come to my desktop, just drag that over to one side for a minute. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this zip file and drop it into this area here, and that will place it onto the server for me. I won't actually see a progression bar down here as the file is uploaded. So let's click it and let's drag it and drop it, and here we go. It shows here that it's been uploaded. Now obviously depending on what your connection's like and how good your host provider is will determine how fast this actually gets transferred up. So mine's saying it's going to take 3 maybe 4 minutes depending. I've got a bit of a fluctuating connection at the moment. That doesn't matter. All I do for the second is I'll just pause the video so that we're not sitting here waiting for too long. Okay, so very closely to the end there, and if I magic, there we go, there's Prestashop now, the zip file up on the server. Okay, so we've got the zip file there, but at the moment obviously it's no good to anybody. We need to unzip that and get all the files and folders out. Now I can't do that with inside FileZilla, but I can do that from the control panel. So let's go back to the control panel just for a second. So there we are, and I go back home, and what I'm looking for now is a link saying File Manager. So there it is, just there. Don't worry about the legacy File Manager, you don't want to be using that, just use the File Manager. And then we just say OK, and we see a web-based file manager turn up or appear. So there's the file that we've uploaded, the zip file, and I want to expand that, so I just simply highlight it and say extract. And at the moment mine's saying that it'll extract it to public_html/demo. That's only because I've got my website sitting in a folder on the server called demo. What you'll normally see is public_html/ without the demo part there. But for me, I need it there, so let's just say extract, and all those files will now be extracted out of the zip file and be placed into the folder or the directory that I want. So that's good, but you see that it's actually put it into a folder called Prestashop. Now I don't want it in a folder called Prestashop. I need it out in theory on the root of my website, so as soon as somebody comes to my website they see Prestashop straight away and don't have to navigate, or we don't have to navigate them into a folder for them to start seeing our shop and obviously buying our products. So what we need to do is double click the folder and we go inside and we say select all. Now all the files and folders have been selected, so if I go down the list there you can see they've all been selected, and I just say now move the files or move file, and it's saying where do you want to move them. Well obviously you'll be looking for public_html with nothing else after it. I have to bear in mind that I'm using a demo version, or this is for a demonstration, so I'm going to keep it in the demo folder, but I just say move files. And the servers tend to do this fairly quickly, so there we go, the files have actually been moved. It says no records found, and if I go up one level I'm now in theory at the